Look at these.
What? Where did that come from?
They're little covers.
Oh,
Isn't that cute?
that is so cute.
I love those.
Forget everything you think you know about RVs. The beige carpet, gone, the basic cabinets, ancient history. I'm Nicole with RV Trader, and today I'm excited to show you a literal masterpiece straight out of a magazine. This is Tessa Terry, and she is the founder, owner, renovator, overall master designer behind Alchemy RV Renovations. Tessa, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you. So I worked on a 2023 Forest River Wildwood Lodge. It's a 42 view, and I gave it the complete alchemy treatment. So when you step inside, you're gonna see a lot of elegance, a lot of high-end design, and it's something like you've never seen on the road before.
Oh my gosh, Tessa, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
The chandelier, this island, and these ceilings. I know we're both short queens ourselves, but even in some trailers we're ducking. There's so much space in here.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
That's the main reason why I wanted to work on this rig, because the second I walked in, the layout, the amount of windows, how tall the ceilings are, literally perfect, and I could just see the vision right away.
Everything in here is so cleverly designed. It's glamorous, it's luxurious. What was the vision behind the kitchen specifically?
I get really inspired by things like music, architecture, sometimes movies. And so for this one, I really wanted to go for like a Sherlock Holmes library mixed with Beatrix Potter cottage feel. So very old world, very European, but still something like home. And so these colors were just so calming, but elevated. And it's really a place that you can picture yourself cooking meals and waking up in the morning too.
You had this vision in mind. Did you already have these colors picked out in your brain that you wanted to help kind of bring your vision to life?
Yeah, for sure. So I have the gist of the colors in my head when I buy the rig and I kind of design it. And then of course I have to fine tune it and find them in real life. So for example, these cabinets, I bought 10 different samples before I picked out on this color specifically.
I know it's a pain installing wallpaper in a normal home, but I don't think I've ever seen an RV or a destination trailer with wallpaper. Was there anything you had to consider or keep in mind putting wallpaper in this kitchen and in this space?
Yeah, so putting wallpaper in smaller spaces definitely gets a little monotonous. But specifically with the kitchen, I carried on the wall wallpaper into the kitchen. And of course, you have to think about things like splashing and water and food, which can destroy paper. So actually I custom built these walls with plywood. I covered them with the same wallpaper, but then I did an epoxy pour. So it's a total solid surface. It can get wet, you can wipe it down, and it's really functioning for a busy kitchen.
Speaking towards that functionality, not only is this tile backsplash beautiful window tinted, it also has a reason behind why you did that as well.
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah, for sure. So I do a lot of curtains. I make my own window treatments, but for windows and kitchens, you're also working with an oven and propane typically. So you have a flame. And so, you know, we want nothing to catch on fire. So that's why I use these window films, which also gives that European look. And I love it anyway, but you get the functionality, you get privacy, and you know, it looks beautiful.
And speaking of this renovation, specifically for the kitchen, did it come with these appliances or did you upgrade to these appliances? And if so, why did you choose these specific appliances?
This renovation is really my baby and I put so much into it.
I can see why.
Yeah, and so this is black stainless, which the old ones were just regular stainless, still the same size, still functioning, but I knew gold was gonna be a really important accent color for me. And so I love mixing gold and black together. I don't love mixing gold and stainless together. It just depends on the design, but for this one in particular, black stainless was just really what I envisioned for these.
All right, tell me about this gold sink, because I've never seen a gold sink before, and you told me that there was something really unique about the sink besides just the, you know, nice color.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a huge sink to begin with, which is awesome.
Yes,
I made it a single basin sink, which I prefer.
She's deep and long.
Yeah, for sure. And then I also added this reverse osmosis system because I'm kind of a nerd about water filtration, so that's something that's important to me. The faucet's just absolutely killer. It's one of my favorite things in here.
I mean, this is a beauty staple standout in of itself. But speaking of standout, we gotta give a shout out to the chandelier. One, I've never seen a chandelier quite like this in my life, let alone in an RV destination trailer.
Yeah, so my lighting is always really important to me, and this one took me a lot of time to find specifically. This one is a destination trailer, like you said, and so this is made for permanent living. And so yes, it gets transported similar to like a bumper pole trailer, but you're not constantly traveling. So these are all installed on hooks, and when it's time to transport, you simply unhook them, and then the sink is specific to store them safely. Gets to its new home, you set it up, and it stays that way to live in.
With all these different design elements, how did you know that they were going to go together?
Yeah, so again, I think a lot of European designs really inspire me. And when you look back at history and you see those really elevated classic spaces, you see a lot of mixed metals, you see a lot of textures and a lot of deeper, richer colors like that. And so that's kind of what I was going for. Again, it's lots of trial and error. It's lots of mixing and matching until you just get it right.
There's so much storage in here.
Yeah.
And I know that's important when you're traveling and you're basically living off grid.
Yeah, you know, I always buy rigs that have a good amount of storage to begin with, but then I add it. So especially like in the upstairs and bedrooms, there's a lot of things that you might not even see coming in that are hidden storage.
Speaking of hidden storage, we have a secret door behind you.
Yes.
Before we even open it, these are just the littlest details that truly make the space pop. Can we give a shout out? Not only is this big for an RV, but even in a house. Like, I wish I had this size pantry. I don't even think I have enough food or things to put in this pantry, but just the masterful and intentional cleverness of the design in this kitchen is just impeccable. So everything in here has a rhyme and reason to it.
For sure, that's the main part of my design. I think first off, people see the aesthetics of it, and that seems like the most important part, but really functionality, durability, weight, how these things travel down the road, whether it's full-time travel or transport, that's top tier priority for me, because really if you have a beautiful space but it's not functioning, what's the point? So yes, all of those things have to go together.
Even just having this cute little accent with the mugs, you know, that's something people will have to consider with a stationary vehicle versus something that's constantly moving. Obviously, it's not hard for someone to take the mugs down and put them in here, but that's something you had to keep in mind as well, correct?
Right, yeah. When I do normal RVs, they're all designed to travel, and so they take 5 to 10 minutes to set up to go road ready. This one's gonna take me like an hour to set up, but the part about it is that once it gets to its location, you're good to go and it stays there for a long time.
Yeah. It has wheels, but you're not constantly always moving.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see so many families gathering here, so many friends gathering here, not only sharing a meal, but really sharing those lifelong memories together.
Yeah, totally. And you know, this kitchen is very much in the middle of it all. It is the heart of the home. And so that's why it was really important for me to design it, not just to look pretty, but you know, designing it for real life.
Tessa, it's obvious that the design from the kitchen follows into the living space and the rest of the RV so seamlessly. What about your design choices really speaks Editorial Retreat to you?
Yeah, so the name was fun for me. Personally, I love Architectural Digest. I have vintage magazines that I keep at my house.
I see one over there, yeah.
Yeah, and I have new ones. It's a huge inspiration. So creating a space that looks good enough to be in a magazine while still feeling attainable and like home and cozy, like a retreat, is really important to me. And so the name just fit.
Speaking of those homey touches, I mean, I love that you were intentional not only with the ceiling light, but it also has a built-in fan, which, as you know, we are in North Carolina in the summer and it's hot. Do you mind if I put it on, by the way?
Go for it. And while you're doing that, I have something cool to show you. Over here, we have a TV elevator, which is super cool because one of the important features of this is, as you know, the windows. Yes. So the view is really important, but then, you know, at the end of the day, when it's time to watch a movie or something, you have that TV available, and it's just a nice feature that it can be hidden when needed.
And sometimes you can be in a travel trailer, a destination trailer, and yes, there's a lot of windows, but it still feels so dark and dingy, but that's not the case in here.
Yeah, that was definitely a selling point for me. I believe it's like 285 square feet of windows in total, so it's a lot. And you know, they have the blackout shades already in them, but I did make all these curtains because I wanted it to be an insulating factor.
Did the RV before come with curtains?
It actually did, which was super surprising, and I love to see that manufacturers are starting to go in that direction. Yeah, for sure, but they weren't blackout. They're pretty paper thin, so as someone who's been renovating RVs professionally for over 5 years, window treatments I realized are a huge factor for me. So I actually opened up my own line of my window collection. And so I make these custom because you're working with different sizes, every single window. They're not ever standard.
And this space is so just open and airy. I keep forgetting that we're actually in a destination trailer and that this bad boy can move. Even just speaking of the couch, what were some of the mechanics of this space you had to keep in mind, because this is a destination trailer?
Yeah, for sure. So all my RV renovations, weight is at the forefront of my designs. A common misconception is that putting in residential furniture makes it heavier. So in this case, the previous sofa weighed over 300 pounds. That was not fun to take out, as you can imagine. So replacing it with something more comfortable and more beautiful, this weighs about 90 pounds. So I look at functionality, and if you have something that's working, that gives you durability and storage space, then there's no reason to take it out. So for example, in this kitchen, the cabinets are original. I have a very arduous, extensive painting process so that they last for years to come, but those are painted. Hardware is changed. The backsplash that I made with the wallpaper and epoxy, the previous backsplash before that, which was not as pretty, was actually heavier. So in things like that, they look heavier, they are more durable, but in the end, they actually weigh less.
And I think you mentioned these are the original floors, correct?
So I changed out the floors.
Okay.
It had linoleum, which is the really paper thin that can rip easily. And so I use LVP, but I use it thin. I usually keep within like 3 to 4 millimeters thick. And this is because not only are you working with weight, but slides have to come in. I want it durable, but still lightweight and practical.
This backsplash behind you, would you consider that lightweight?
Absolutely. This entire wall weighs under a pound of backsplash. So it's super lightweight, but it's also vinyl. So if you get spills or any dirt or anything, super easy to clean as well.
Tell me a little bit about, your design choices up here.
Yeah, so the upstairs loft, even though they're small, I wanted to make them super practical. Mattresses are luxury mattresses, even though they're twins for kids. I custom made those headboards because of course you're working with unusual sizes. This middle thing is all storage. And then as far as the curtains, I used blackout self-insulating curtains. So it just makes for a really cozy space altogether.
And I love that, yes, it's designed specifically for kids, but you can really use the space however you best see fit. It can be for, anyone who just needs extra space for storage. It could be, for me, I personally feel like this would be the coziest reading nook. All the book talk girlies would probably make this their library.
For sure. And the cool thing about this model is there's 2 lofts. So that's what I did on the other side.
What was your inspiration about this space, and why did you want to make it a little bit different from the sleeping loft that you had over there?
I really just wanted to show what the potential is for these places. I know you've mentioned we're pretty short, but it's comfy up here, and you can definitely read a book or have a cup of coffee. And storage, again, is really important. So this whole entire thing here filled with storage. And then in comparison to the other loft, we have this extra little bit here. And so that's really nice for more storage.
I love how the design choices that we see in the kitchen and living space follow up here as well. From this beautiful wallpaper, this beautiful flooring, the molding. What were some of the other design choices that you really just wanted to keep in mind?
Yeah, so of course it's a smaller space up here, so you have to keep that in mind. But I really wanted to make this a space that both adults and kids can use. So you have the storage for things like toys. You also have spinning bookshelves for extra storage space. So these can go right here, and it's really nice, of course, for kids or adults.
Yeah.
And then, the wallpaper that you talked about, this was really a big project because this whole thing is 45 feet. So this was custom made wallpaper that spreads from all the way on that side all the way down to here.
Wow.
And it just really made it feel cohesive and a nice space to do whatever you want.
I like that, if someone's watching and they have a similar space or they have kids, that this is kind of like a little, you have their sleeping quarters over there, but this is like their little game room. So
totally, it's like a tree house. Yeah.
Would you say that your kids were kind of the inspiration behind how you wanted to decorate and use this space?
Yeah, for sure. And they're my harshest critics.
Fair.
So, they come to work with me a lot, and I think 90% of their time was up in this loft. So it's definitely kid approved.
Even the size of this kid's furniture, it's perfect for them. I love that you have chests back there for the entire family, and I like that it's tucked away, that it's not taking up so much space.
Yeah, for sure. Every single piece of furniture is really thought out. In fact, that chair behind you actually pulls out into a little lounge that you can put your legs up and enjoy.
This is cute, yeah.
It's actually super comfy.
No,
I sat up there all the time in this thing.
This is perfect for like a little reading
There's
thing.
pockets, so you can actually put books and stuff in it.
Look at that. Oh, wait. Is this more storage?
It sure is. That's great hidden storage that goes underneath the staircase.
Oh my God, I love that. And I love that me and you can have a conversation like this right now.
I know, it's great.
Did this door come originally with the RV?
Yeah, believe it or not, those are the original slab doors, but I added some molding, of course, gave it a really pretty paint job, and then of course changed the hardware as well.
So just those little touches, it just still, again, it goes cohesively with the entire rest of the space. It's like Narnia.
God, wow.
So Tessa, I noticed that we had to step down into the space, so it kind of feels like we're in a basement, but not necessarily.
Yeah, that was actually a cool feature of the original RV. So the bathroom and the bedroom are under the lofts, and they're actually sunk in. And what that does is it gives you a full space, and you can stand up tall, and yeah.
And I've noticed there's so much built-in storage in here. Did that come with the original RV as well?
It did, yeah. The storage was a big part for me. I'm not one who's a minimalist when it comes to clothes, so there's lots of storage here.
What are some of the features in here that you put your Alchemy RV Renovations touch on?
A few things. So besides the bed area, we have some storage up above, which did have cabinet doors, and I took those down so it's an open shelving situation. You can see the trim detail.
Yeah.
The headboard is actually completely handmade and hand carved.
Wow.
It's absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite things in here. I always upgrade my mattresses. So in this case, I used a Deep Sleep Solution mattress, which was custom made for the space.
Oh, wow.
It sleeps incredible. And then also when it comes to the dresser, you can see these little birds here on that. That was a design choice because, you know, along with the headboard being hand carved, I wanted this to look very built-in, intentional, and I really like that like hand carved feature.
The windows in here are absolutely beautiful. Did they come with the original RV as well?
Yeah, so again, I made the window treatments, but one of the reasons I was able to get away with the darker color in here was because of all this natural light. So it's a great feature.
And tell me about this wallpaper. Why did you go with this wallpaper specifically?
That was kind of what I worked the whole room around. I loved it.
Is there something different that you have to keep in mind, or some special considerations you have to keep in mind when wallpapering, you know, an RV or space like this versus a home or office?
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, your average home is going to be 70 degrees 24/7. With RVs, they get put in storage. They're traveling in hot spaces. So heat is something you really have to consider. I personally don't use peel and stick wallpaper. I use traditional. So I paste the wall. I use a commercial grade wallpaper paste, and it does well in all seasons so that it'll look like this for years and years to come.
You just gotta get your hands down a little dirty first.
Yeah, exactly. To match it with the colors that I used, I actually ended up repainting this bedroom 3 times. And if you've ever painted an RV, you know that's not an easy task.
How did you realize when, okay, I nailed down the perfect green that you wanted?
I think it's just years of doing this, and when you know kind of thing. And you also know when it's not right too. So, you know, I try again kind of thing. I wanted it to be super cozy. I wanted it to be a sanctuary for somebody. So at the end of a long day, this isn't an RV bedroom that you can, you know, technically manage in. It's something you're looking forward to, and it feels like home.
Alrighty, so we're in the final space in this destination trailer, and obviously I can feel the same cohesive vibes from throughout, but can you tell me your specific story that you had in mind with the bathroom?
Yeah, so one of the starting points of my design in here was the gallery wall. That was actually from my own personal collection that I've had for years. These are really important to me, and I absolutely love them. But it just gives you that really European and like old world feel.
What other design choices did you specifically pick out for the bathroom?
Yeah, so all of the hardware was very hand-picked. It took weeks to find each one of these pieces, all the way down from the towel rack to the swan
I mean, the
faucet.
swan, like I've never
Yeah.
seen that ever. That is the cutest faucet I've ever seen.
It absolutely is. I love that.
Yes.
And then of course I added extra storage here with a cabinet.
You always need that in a bathroom.
Yeah, and there's already storage, but you can never get enough.
I mean,
so
everything in here has a purpose. Can you tell me a little bit why you chose this specific fabric versus what it came with?
yeah, so this shower was actually kind of a big deal. Already you have a great space, which I loved.
It's
you have
bigger than my apartment shower.
you have a waterfall faucet in here. You have seating, so it's a great space. But it did come with these standard glass doors, which personally I'm not a huge fan of.
Neither am I.
Yeah, they're really hard to keep clean. There's a lot of issues that pop up. So I changed this to a shower curtain. It just feels really nice and open.
Another rare thing is that not in every RV or trailer you have a full-size washer and dryer. Now, did you put this in as well, or did it come with it?
I did. I put this in. The full-size feature is incredible, but especially it's a destination trailer. So this is full-time living. You're gonna have the full-time amount of laundry, and you can't work with a tiny little machine. So this is an excellent feature in here.
Most of the time in RVs, we see foot flush toilets.
Yeah, same
What's
here.
unique about this one?
Yeah, so this one actually flushes like a home toilet, so you have no pedal.
That's incredible.
And I feel like that's just one more detail that you might miss looking at pictures, but when you're actually living in the space, it doesn't feel like you're living in an RV at all. This one, you know, it's a super small space, so every single thing you put in it is going to be visible and important. And even if you can't put your finger on it, I just wanted this to be a curated and calm, welcoming space.
I don't like to assume much on this channel, but I'm obsessed with this space, and I think it's safe to assume you're likely obsessed with the space. This is a literal masterpiece and just a reimagination of what mobile living can look like. Tessa, thank you so much for having us today, giving us and our audience just a sneak peek into your world, your beautiful design brain, and just the magic behind Alchemy RV Renovations.
Yeah, I was so glad to have you guys. You know, my goal has always been to teach people that no matter what square footage they have, you never have to sacrifice good design.
I know you don't just renovate RVs, correct? What other spaces have you done before?
So I do residential homes, I've done businesses, I've worked on a lot of really cool projects like restaurants, hotels, even some movie sets. You can find my portfolio or book a consult with me on alchemyrvrenovations.com. And you can also find me on social media under Alchemy RV Renovations.
Y'all heard it here first. Go ahead, go to her website. Your girl is booked, blessed, and busy. Her calendar books up pretty fast. If you are left feeling inspired at the end of this video, maybe you want to try a RV renovation for yourself, you know where to go, rvtrader.com, where you could literally find any make or model you can dream of. Now, before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, leave us a comment down below which space in the editorial retreat was your favorite. I'm Nicole, and this is Tessa, and we'll catch you on the road. Bye.